Hello everyone, this is Nick again here with a video showing you how you can use our ready-made tests, especially if you want to do, let's say, a practice assessment before the real thing happens quite soon. I find myself in the question library here, which no doubt you recognise, with all the separate questions as we put up here from all the assessments that have come out from NZQA. And of course you can pick and mix from all three and make your own test at will there, change things as you want. But for your convenience, we've put together the complete ones here in this library. So available content then, ready-made tests. And here I'm going to use this one here, the Term 2 one, which is a nice short one. I'm going to save it. It's going to make me my own copy there, and I'm going to give it my own name. Let's go demo. I won't tell you how many demos I've done in practice for this video. Let's call it demo 1 and pretend it's the first one. Group you can ignore. That's something under development on the website at the moment, and will enable you to organise things differently in the future. Here is the date. It can be the date that you've put it in. It can be the date where the actual exam is going to take place. Let's just put the 8th of May just for sake of argument. And we'll save that. And now it's going to tell me it's going to go put it in my tests. So let's go to my tests. And if I now just organise according to the most recent first, you'll see demo 1 there. You don't have to look at all the other previous ones I've tried. And then let's see, 38 points, 5 questions. Go to the 3 dots on the right hand side here to conduct digitally. And we're going to be beamed up to exam.net now. And look at that on my exam. So I'm going to go through with you here how you can mark the text questions, how you can look at the statistics when you've finished, look at individual students and set the settings and that kind of thing. So hang on with me and we'll see what happens. So before we do anything, we ought to perhaps look at the settings, and I'm going to sort of focus on a few things which might be more interest if you're doing a more formal exam this time, rather than just a quick one in class. Here, I always like to use this one, but perhaps in a formal setting you wouldn't want to show them the results of the auto marking. That's entirely up to you. One note of caution here, if you want to feedback and you don't have Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams, then make sure you include the email so that at a click of a button you can send back feedback to all students at once. Student workspace, perhaps here you might want to look at some accessibility tools. You can put them on for the whole class here, but I will show you later, hopefully I will remember, how you can just turn them on for 1 or 2 students if that's all you've got in your class that need them. Down here to the subject tools, I don't think we need a drawing tool, but you may want to add a calculator depending on how mean you want to be about them remembering their own. And then down here, if you've got, for the security mode, you might want to actually put it on high security here, especially if you want to make sure that they're completely locked inside the exam window, no risk of cheating and so on. There are a few steps to get that into motion. And if you're doubting about it, you can go to the training video up here on the right hand side, which goes into it in more detail. Notice that the cheat prevention here, the default setting, should I say, is to cover the answered questions with this grey area so that a neighbour can't see what you're doing. Again, up to you, and you can also randomise the question order. So once you finish your settings, you can save, but at any time during this, you can have a quick sneak preview at what the student experience will look like. So here you can see the things I've put in the settings here in the left-hand menu. And you can scroll down and see quickly how you can test out the writing space for what they would actually put in there and so on. Yeah, you get the idea. So let's close down that preview and let's save. And then it'll appear in my exam list here. Notice here while I'm at it that there's, of course, when you're going to let the students in, you need to open it up. But if you're doing a more formal exam setting, you can set it into this mode called discoverable. And what that means is that all the students can get into the exam, but they're put in a sort of waiting room, a lobby if you like, and they cannot actually start until you then change this to open. During that time where they're in discoverable is a time where you can actually add accommodations for specific students. It doesn't take a moment, I'll show you. You can even do that during the exam live if you forget. Not that any of us ever forget things, right? But you can do it at any time during the exam, but it's quite a handy time to remember to do it during that point where they're waiting. So the students would then, I've shown you in many videos before, they go to exam.net, not the maths site, but exam.net. They enter the exam key, and as long as it's discoverable or open, they'll be able to get in and wait there. Now, for the sake of looking at what happens during the exam and what happens when they've handed in, I've got another one here which I'm going to show you. It's the same questions, just in a slightly different order. And let's start by looking at the monitoring and results. And here I've got the monitoring view, and I've got some fake students you can see on the left-hand side here. And Denise is actually in the exam at the moment. So if I just click on Denise, for example, here you see Denise's accommodations. I've actually turned them on. You can turn them off and on at will here. So if Denise wants those, you can put those on. The students who submitted, you won't be able to change that, obviously. So Denise is one that can still be affected by the changes that you make. And there you can have an overview. You can see how their writing develops during the exam, kind of live. It's uploaded every 30 seconds, I believe, updated. So you can go in and see what's going on. You can also see if a student hasn't started at all, done nothing, and you might want to go over and give them a quick encouraging prod, let's say. So that's the monitoring view. Now let's go to the results and look at the ones who've actually submitted. Now here, if I click on Andy here, who's actually submitted. Now, obviously, auto marking will have taken place. And in fact, let me just pop back to an overview. I forgot to tell you that here in the overview straight away, you can see what the total results, the total points for this test are 38. The results you'll see initially are the ones for the auto mark questions only. Okay, so let's go back to Andy again. And let's say I want to mark question 4. So it pops down to this. I chose this one because it's a bit shorter, to be honest. So you can see the results of the auto marking there. You can actually override if you don't agree, or you feel that maybe you've had a piece of paper alongside them and they've shown you their working and said, oh, I didn't mean to put that one, I put this one, and you want to override it. You can do so here with the points. Here there's one where they've actually written their some feedback, they've written some text here or some calculation, and then you can decide, look, what to do here. You can give them 0, you can give them 1, you can even give them half a point if they've made some attempt and you feel slightly sorry for them. So you can do that at will. Get to the end of the question, you can add a comment, feedback to the student for that particular question if you want to. And here, look, you can mark question by question if you want to mark for all students. So question 1 for everyone, question 2 for everyone. I personally quite like that feature. It speeds things up a lot, I think. Okay, back to the overview then. So here we are. Questions you can also find here and mark them that way. And then what I want to show you is the statistics here. And notice that you'll see the blue means requires marking. The 20% that's down here is Denise, because she's still going strong in the exam room. So, of course, after Denise is submitted, that will disappear. But you can, at a glance, see which ones need manual marking there. And you'll see that the auto-mark ones have already given you statistics of how well the students did as a class. Once you've done the manual marking, this will all be shaded in according to the colours, with no blue, hopefully, because that will all have been dealt with. So it's a good way to check that everything's been done properly. Okay, I think that might be all I wanted to show you. Other than this, of course, if you have not got Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, you can send here the student answers. And if you click on there, it says you can choose them all, and they've written their emails on the way into the exam, and then you can just send at the click of a button. Okay, so that's a really nice feature there. Okay, I think I've shown you all the things I wanted to show you there. I wish you best of luck with this. Obviously, it's taken me just 8 minutes to show you and gone through fairly quickly. You can replay it, of course, but if you want a little bit more detail, do explore the training videos up on the right there, which go into detail on various different aspects of this platform. And I know it might seem like a big hurdle to get over to start this, but once you get into the flow, it's so quick and will save you enormous amounts of time at the end of the day in not least marking. But also lots of paper, because you don't have to actually mark lots of paper. So yeah, give it a go, and a recommendation is to try it out in the classroom, perhaps just with one question where the students write a text response. Then they and you can see how it works. So best of luck. I look forward to seeing you use it, and I'll say goodbye for now.